Here's a question I bet you've never considered. Can a city forbid any speech about certain topics on a public sidewalk? Could the city of Pittsburgh, for example, paint a line around a section of public sidewalk and declare that in this zone, Steelers fans could talk about sports but not protest inequality? Of course not. That would be a blatant First Amendment violation. Now consider what's happening to Nikki Bruni and her friends in the Steel City. On the public sidewalks in front of medical buildings throughout Pittsburgh, you can talk about sports and the weather all you want. But from the lofty perches of Pittsburgh City Hall, one particular topic is strictly forbidden. Nikki Bruni found this out the hard way. As a young Christian, Nikki was gripped by the biblical teaching on the sanctity of life, that every person is made in the image of God and worthy of full dignity and respect. Every life, including life in the womb. So Nikki began doing what many people of faith have done for decades on the issue of abortion. She started by praying, first in private and then in public. That included right in front of the local Planned Parenthood abortion clinic, where she also had the chance to offer hope, practical help, and healing to women coming in and out of the building. Nikki also connected with the local chapter of 40 Days for Life, which gathers Christians for peaceful prayer and compassionate sidewalk counseling in front of abortion clinics all over the world. You can guess what comes next, can't you? In 2005, the Pittsburgh City Council adopted an ordinance that bans people with pro-life views, like Nikki's, from speaking with women or even praying within a zone stretching out 15 feet from a medical building's entrance in every direction, extending onto the public sidewalk and street. The city then painted lines in only 2 locations, Pittsburgh's 2 abortion clinics. Sidewalk counseling is the one conversation the Pittsburgh ordinance is designed to ban. Yet Planned Parenthood escorts have free rein to enter the zone, surround women, talk over the sidewalk counselors, and deflect women from conversing with them or accepting their literature. In fact, the city council chair who first sponsored the ordinance has openly admitted that its purpose was to stop women from hearing pro-life perspectives. That leaves Nikki with 2 bad choices: shouting from a distance in order to be heard over traffic or remaining silent. Sometimes a woman stops in the buffer zone and stretches out her hand to receive literature, but Pittsburgh even bans sidewalk counselors from reaching out at that critical moment. This robs a woman of a fully informed choice. It also violates the First Amendment's free speech guarantee, as well as a unanimous Supreme Court ruling that struck down a similar ordinance in 2014. But despite all this, Pittsburgh has refused to budge. In 2015, a year after the Supreme Court's unanimous decision protecting the rights of sidewalk counselors, Nikki and 4 of her fellow pro-life advocates took the city to court with the help of Alliance Defending Freedom. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals tried to salvage Pittsburgh's ordinance by rewriting portions of it, but that ruling didn't help at all. City officials can still prosecute Nikki for speaking in the prohibited zone, and groups like 40 Days for Life are not allowed to pray there. In early 2020, Nikki and Alliance Defending Freedom appealed to the Supreme Court, which could decide to hear the case as early as the spring of 2021. The question before the court is simple enough. Can the government silence speakers just because it doesn't like what they have to say? Or is the right to free speech really for everyone?